Okay, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite and welcome back to... Stupid. My name is Stupid and welcome back to Angels with Scaly Wings. In the last part, we talked about dragons being genetically compatible with humans, and also game dev, mostly game dev. Yeah, I guess. I don't know where that's gonna lead, but we'll deal with that when we have to, I guess. Sounds rather outlandish if you ask me. We certainly can't shapeshift like that. Alright, so I suppose that's why they're just myths. I mean, he would know if he can shapeshift or not, right? Probably. To be fair, we do have a lot of myths that seem quite out there as well, compared to what you're like. Anyway, how do you come to know so much about myths? All part of being an ambassador. Not only did I learn about dragon myths in order to compare them to what you're like, but I also studied myths about creatures that are similar to humans so I could find out how similar they were to yours. Well, you're certainly doing an excellent job so far, and it's bound to help me a lot with my game as well. You're going to put all of that into your game. Alright, I think this is where the expression kill your babies is going to start coming up, but considering that we were just talking about like dragons being genetically compatible with humans or whatever, don't take that too far out of context, please. Let's just say it gives me some excellent material to work with. I thought you wanted to give an accurate portrayal of humans, not just collect myths. One species will certainly be modeled after you, but that doesn't mean we can't introduce some variety with the others. People will love it if we also bring some of the more unusual myths to life. I see. But since we also want since we also want each of the normal human characteristics to be unique, I'd like to know how much variety there really is within your species. I've seen Razor before, so comparing him to you already gives me a bit of an idea. But how far do these differences go exactly? When we arrived here, you asked me if I was old enough to drink. That leads me to believe that your average human must be a lot taller. That's true. You could say Razor would be about average for an adult. Not that it would be impossible to get a good deal bigger than him or even smaller than you, but those cases are rather rare, and usually the result of medical conditions. I see. What about colors? Are there any humans who are blue like me? Yes, but that's also usually the result of a medical condition. Not really. There is a certain spectrum of skin colors that can be lighter or darker, but so far as I've seen, a lot more variety in the dragons here. So far, I've seen a lot more variety in the dragons here. We do have quite a number of different eye colors, though. Interesting. As for things that aren't immediately visible, we also have different blood types, but I assume you know about that. We certainly have those as well. Some people even believe your blood type influences your personality. That, on the other hand, is news to me. Anything else you want to know? We already got so much. I think I'll have to think about if and how we can work this all into a game. Have you worked on any other games before? No. I worked on a few small projects during the course of my studies and also interned at a studio before. This was on a completely different level, though. How so? It's my game, so I'm the one calling the shots here. It's a very different thing than just making a few graphics when you're part of a bigger team, for sure. I see. How long exactly have... Water... I see. How long exactly have you been working on this? Must be several months now. I've got everything planned out, and a lot of the groundwork has already been done. Okay, so you've at least done math before coming to talk to me. That's good. You've at least, like, presumably been, like, fiddling with spreadsheets and systems and stuff. The most difficult things are the characters themselves, and to make sure all of the details are accurate. Of course. Have you shown the game to any other people yet? Sure! Feedback is a very important part of the development process, so I regularly gather ideas and opinions from others. I even made a website to do this. And what do they say? All kinds of things, really. Sometimes it's hard to decide which ones have a good point and which ones can be disregarded. Yeah. The internet. It's a wonderful place. Overall, it seems like there are many people who are looking forward to playing my game, though. How many are we talking about? I don't know exactly. The counter on my website only tracks the number of visits, so I don't actually know how many different people there are. What if it doesn't work out? What do you mean? Well, you're investing a certain amount of time and money into making this game. Ideally, you would make back your investment and hopefully get some profit on top of that. If the goal is to make money, sure. However, I just want to try my hand at doing something like this. If some people are enjoying the end result, that's great. I guess if you've already got a job lined up somewhere else, that's a thing you can do. Don't forget that I'll also have made something that I can put on my resume. At the very least, it'll have been a good learning experience. With that attitude, I suppose you don't really have anything to lose. I can always look for another job, maybe I'll end up working at a game studio, but I think once I've started doing something like that, I might not get this opportunity again. So it's now or never, huh? In a nutshell, yes. And all that works out with your courier job. Sure, I can support myself in this way. Oh, that's right, you work at the post office too. I can support myself in this way, and I'm not really under any pressure since I don't have any deadlines to keep. You see, about that. Even if you don't have to answer to someone else, setting your own deadlines is a pretty good way to make sure that your stuff actually gets done before never. Alright, seems like you know what you're doing. Oh, they're a good way to ensure something gets done though. Okay, so see, even the narrator agrees. You're right about that. It's something where balance is important, I think. I set deadlines for myself, but I don't have to worry about the project breaking down if I don't meet certain milestones at a certain time. What kind of tools are you using to make it? If you say Renpai, if I consider what some of your species looks like, I'll have a hard time imagining how the bigger ones could program a game. If you say Renpai, 1, that's a visual novel engine, and 2, I'm gonna laugh. Or if it's a pun on Renpai or something like that. Well, we do have devices tailored to each individual species. I can't deny that my dexterous hands make it a lot easier compared to some of the others. One downside is that I have to keep my nails short, or else using the keyboard gets a bit cumbersome. I imagine you'll have to be careful with those while working as a courier anyway. You're right about that. One wrong move and you've suddenly shredded the letter you were just going to hand to somebody. That sounds unpleasant. Wait, did he say you should be more careful? You make it sound like you've done that at least once. Alright, we won't give him a hard time about that for now. Luckily, that kind of thing doesn't really happen to me anymore. He says. Not only because of the shorter nails, but once you've worked there for a while, you just learn to be more careful. It's a bit sad not to have them as the natural letter opener anymore, though. And it's not just me. Some people ask me to open their letters for them, since doing that on their own can be difficult for some of the less dexterous and older ones. Have you been working as a courier for long? I just got this job a few months ago, but I had a part-time summer job at the post office where I was growing up. My species is perfectly suited for the job, so they are glad to have me on board. Oh, really? Sounds a bit rude. Let's go with why is that, which means the same thing. Of course, being able to fly is a big plus. My size means I can't deliver any big packages, but I often get assigned to urgent letters that have to be delivered as soon as possible. Huh. It's getting late. Maybe we should leave it at that for today. Yeah, I should probably head back to my apartment before it gets too dark. I got more than enough material to work with, thanks a lot. Can I see your code? Or something? Or your development tools or development environment or anything? I need to get out more. Don't worry about it. I'll just consider it a public service. Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially after nearly getting denied by Sebastian when I met you. Just make the best of it. I certainly will. I really have to get going now, so I'll see you some other time. Alright, sure, have a good night. Alright, so, Remy and Lorem are gonna be the two characters who I spend most of my time with in the story, I think. That's chapter 2. How long have I been going for? 8 minutes. I hear fire. What's on fire? Well, can I skip ahead? Alright, I have already experienced this section in a satisfactory manner. Yeah. Okay. That's probably, the core story stuff, like the murder investigations and whatever, is probably not going to change much between runs. Unless I learn some new critical piece of information on the side somewhere. I have a feeling it's going to be mostly the like tangentially related stuff that's gonna change, and probably the ending as well, because Anna popped up in the ending over my first run. It was a relief to leave the crime scene. Skipping this. Can I skip this as well? I'm pretty sure. Wait a minute. I was at the grocery store and Tatsu Park the first time, so let's go to the library and production facility. If I recall, I'm gonna get to do 2. Reza was allegedly here at this point. Maybe I should ask Anna. And I cannot indeed skip this section. The tab key is not doing anything. Hello! Anybody here? I keep thinking you're like a guy in a hockey mask when I see your nose. Can I help you? I was just looking for Anna. This is her lab, right? Why don't I ever get any recognition? This is my lab as much as it is hers. Either way, she's not here. Would that be all? Since you work here, maybe you could help me instead. Oh, of course, your precious Anna isn't here, so you'll have to settle for me. I see how it is. That's not what I meant. Of course, let's just get this over with. You could start by telling me who you are. Here's the short version. My name is Damion. Rings the bell. Have we met? My name is Damion. I work in this facility, and I'm unfortunate enough to live in the nightmare of having to deal with Anna on a daily basis. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Nice to meet you. And you are? You don't know who I am? Of course I know who you are, but your assumption has validated the point I was going to make. You see, this whole thing about you coming here has been blown out of proportion. Like it's some huge event that everybody should be celebrating. Newsflash, not everybody cares. Once both of you are gone, life will return to normal and we can go back to what we were actually doing before. What we actually should be doing. Except for the one little detail that I take Reza has not informed you of yet. I imagine a lot of it has to do with those human myths you have. I can only reiterate, not everybody cares. What exactly do you want? Okay, so you see, this is where skipping the section in the middle probably might not have worked to my advantage. What am I doing here is an excellent question. I think I'm supposed to find out about Reza. I've seen him a few times. He would come back and ask about the progress of the generators. Heh. There was that one time when Anna told him she'd have news, but when he came over, she just wanted to run some tests on him. Did he go through with it? Of course he didn't go through with it. Have you talked to him, stupid? No, he wanted some compensation, I suppose. Nothing she could offer satisfied him, however, and that was that. Alright, what kind of research are you doing, I guess? Nothing special unless you care a lot about genetics, and we're not talking about the basics here, but the deep stuff. That's all? Okay, how long have you known Anna then? Why do you care about that? Maybe I wanted to find out what kind of a person she is. You might have an idea. I'll put it this way, I've known her for far too long. You don't say much, do you? Cancer research. She thinks she can cure it, but she's out of her mind. Is that such a bad thing? The way she does it? Yeah, she's wasting resources that could be better spent on projects with an actual chance of success. You really don't say much, do you know that? Yeah. Alright, well, at least we got an acquaintance out of that. I interrogated Damion, which is worth a Steam achievement for whatever reason. The library, I guess. There's gonna be more Reza stuff here? Okay, so I can't skip this. Remy. Sorry, Reza, Remy. Your names both start with R-E. You expect too much of me. Who's he talking to, Adine? Adine! Won't you help out an old friend? Friend? This is the first time you've spoken to me in years. I think that's why she qualified it with old. And whose fault is that? For you, I didn't even exist for the last few years. At least I try to reach out to you. No, you're just here because you want something. I'm right here, right now, and you still continue to act like that. She was my friend too, you know. I think you should leave. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for everything. It's a little late for apologies. Have it your way, then. Alright, Remy, what did you do? So Adine is storming out so quickly that she doesn't even notice you. I waited a few minutes and wondered if it was a good idea to talk to Remy. In the end, I decided that my task was too pressing to come back another time. I shuffled through the books and tried to look busy until I noticed he resumed his work so I could approach him. Oh, hello, stupid. Good to see you. Do you need anything? I am here for questions and answers. But because of what I said earlier, I'm gonna start with how are you? I'm not sure, to be honest. There's a lot of things on my mind right now. Like what? I'm not at liberty to discuss them at the moment. I'm supposed to be working, you know. Alright, has Reza been here? He's visited quite often since he arrived, actually. Until a few days ago, that is. Do you know what he was reading? Not particularly. I just thought he wanted to learn about our world. Did you notice anything unusual about him while he was here? Am I gonna get another interrogation achievement? Can't say I did, though he did ask me for a map once. A map? Yes, I showed him a few, but none seemed to be what he was looking for. Did he talk to you about anything strange while he was here? Besides the maps, nothing else worth mentioning comes to mind. Only the usual pleasantries. Alright, Adine, I guess. Wait, you were here for that whole time? You were here that whole time? Not the whole time, just long enough to know that something's up. It's nothing that concerns you. Come on, it does concern me. I know you and I know Adine. It's really nothing of great importance. Are you aware that a certain prehistoric underground building was recently discovered? Go on. She wanted a blueprint of it, which was one of the things found inside the building during an investigation. Why would you have it? We're not just a library, you know, but a whole archive that stores all sorts of information on objects. Do you remember the box you dropped the last time you came in here? Yeah. It was filled with artifacts. We have them here for safekeeping. In any case, a blueprint is the kind of thing that would be placed in our care eventually. So she thinks you have it. Even if we did, it wouldn't be something we could just give out to anyone. Of course. Alright, that was even shorter than the other one. Alright, I actually didn't get that much information out of that. The afternoon sun hung low in the sky. I've already seen this section. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, skip ahead. And we're gonna skip ahead. Okay. So we're back in the police station. I'm not sure if there's anything special about Anna wanting Ray's blood. I mean, she's a scientist, so it's natural for her to be interested in something like that. I can't skip this, right? We'll have to talk to her about it, though. Maybe she has some details for us. The map in the library. I don't know what to think about that. He could have needed a map to plan something, I suppose, but who knows what he really wanted to do with it. It's the kind of detail that, on its own, might not tell us much, but it could be crucial later on. Well done, stupid. That gives us some solid points from which we can continue our investigation. Okay, I did well in the second investigation, whatever that happened to have involved. In any case, thanks for your help. We really do appreciate it. You're welcome. That should be all then. Since Bryce hasn't come back yet, I assume the search is still going on. And I better get out there and help him. Guess it's gonna be a long day. Can you find your way back to your own apartment? I can? Alright. So that's the next story point. I do kind of want to go back to Taxi Park in future runs and see if I can find out more information about that lock that was on the sewer that wasn't totally suspicious at all. I've got free time. I'm at 17 minutes. I don't want this to go on for like a half an hour or anything, and this does feel like a good stopping point. So I guess that's what I'll do. Remy and Lorem, as I established, are the ones who I'm going to be spending time with in this run. So we'll be doing that in the next couple of videos. For now, my name is Stupid. This has been Angels with Scaly Wings. In the next part, Remy and Lorem. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.